The Lord be with you. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Luke. Since many have undertaken to compile a narrative of the events that have been fulfilled among us, just as those who were eyewitnesses from the beginning and ministers of the word have handed them down to us, I too have decided, after investigating everything accurately anew, to write it down in an orderly sequence for you, most excellent Theophilus, so that you may realize the certainty of the teachings you have received. Jesus returned to Galilee in the power of the Spirit, and news of him spread throughout the whole region. He taught in their synagogues and was praised by all. He came to Nazareth, where he had grown up, and went according to his custom into the synagogue on the Sabbath day. He stood up to read and was handed a scroll of the prophet Isaiah. He unrolled the scroll and found the passage where it was written, "The Spirit of the Lord is upon me, because he has anointed me to bring glad tidings to the poor. He has sent me to proclaim liberty to captives and recovery of sight to the blind, to let the oppressed go free, and to proclaim a year acceptable to the Lord." Rolling up the scroll, he handed it back to the attendant and sat down. And the eyes of all in the synagogue looked intently at him. He said to them, "Today, this scripture passage is fulfilled in your hearing." The Gospel of the Lord. That first reading was from the shortest prophet in the Old Testament, Nehemiah. Okay. 10,000 comedians out of work, and I probably shouldn't be making jokes. All of us like a good story, don't we? And when we were kids, whether we were the recipients or later in adulthood, and most of you as parents would maybe trying to entice or enchant your child to go to bed or go to sleep, would grab a book, maybe his or her favorite book, but we all like a great story, don't we? And that's exactly what Jesus does today in the synagogue in his hometown. He goes to the book of the prophet Isaiah and he tells them, the Messiah has these expectations, A, B, C, D, and guess what I am doing? I am fulfilling the expectations. I am the Messiah. Later then, we are given the invitation to be members of God's family in and through the church by St. Paul in that second reading to the Corinthians. St. Paul uses several analogies in trying to describe what does membership in the church mean. Christ, it's like a bride and a bridegroom, that the love becomes so intense that it becomes life-giving. And that's why human love mirrors divine love. But he talks about, and he uses the analogy of the human body, which is the most magnificent machine God has ever created. And he just talks about the multiplicity of parts. And he is saying that all of the parts of the body are all necessary for its unity and its effectiveness. And my suggestion and comments to you is that to be a member of the church, don't say that, well, I don't have a lot of money, therefore I cannot be effective, or I'm not necessarily eloquent, so I can't have a speaking role necessarily, or this or that. We are all called to be members of God's family, and we are blessed that way. We're all members of God's family, and I invite you to membership and participation in that body.